Welcome back to my Big Break Almost podcast. Boy, are we going to love this week's guest.
It's Spencer Wilding.
Now, he's had a long road to becoming the success that we know him for today. You know, he was a champion kickboxer and most notably, of course, actor. And he's been in such iconic films, Guardians of the Galaxy, Game of Thrones.
Yes, he was a White Walker in that. And he was also in Harry Potter and the best villain in history of movies, Darth Vader in Star Wars.
I can't believe we're actually going to talk with Darth Vader.
I know. Spencer Wilding on my Big Break Almost right after this.
Well, we are on with Spencer Wilding, Big Spen.
Big Spen.
You're now going to call you.
Yeah, everybody calls me Big Spen in Wales.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. You've been in so many films. You have such an amazing backstory. It's kind of difficult to figure out where to begin because some people you meet are so nice and so fascinating, but they're very few. You are one of those people. So we're so excited.
Stop it.
We know you for, Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Guardians of the Galaxy, all of these great films, but your big breaks almost weren't even a big break whenever you got started or tried to get started in the industry. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, I'm a bit of a sensitive kid, spiritual and that. And, people say to you, when you want to grow up, when you grow up, what do you want to be when you grow up? I've always said, I'm going to be a movie star. And, when a kid says to you that when you're like 5 years old, you're saying to the grown-ups, I'm going to be a movie star. Well, that's the feeling that I had. But how, I live in a small town in North Wales. Nobody in the family in the industry. So how does somebody get into the films? Anyway, years past school, high school, college. I go to work abroad in Rotterdam on the construction sites. But I've still got this dream going on. I'm going to be in the films. But I'm a heavy dyslexic. So up to the age of 32 years old, I'm 47 now, I still couldn't read or write, It was just the way my dyslexia. I was very physical. I didn't have the theory side on me. But now it's all turned around and the theories come through and I'm doing the dialogue and reading fine and it's just the way it is. But how I got into the industry, I listened to my fight gods upstairs. I say, so okay, right. My thoughts tell me, my feelings, I'm going to be in the films. So how am I going to do this? So the little voice come to me in the head, go, hey, Spen, you're going to be a champion boxer, kickboxer. And there'd be a guy in the audience go, I want to be in the movies, He wasn't there. But when I took the Welsh and British title, I got signed up with a sports agency, right? And how I got approached for this, it's crazy how life goes, how fate takes its toll. I go to a photography shop in town, my hometown, and it's Tony Scott Lee, and his daughter is in a music group called Steps back in the day, very famous all around the world. And my mum goes to me, Spen, go to Tony's shop, get a picture with your Welsh and British belt on so I can have it on the mantelpiece. Very proud mum. Son's a champion boxer, kickboxer, right? So I get it done. And by this time, I knew I still wanted to be in the films, but I was so deep into the fighting game, I thought, well, this must be the entertainment thing, So anyway, I have the picture take. Tony rings me up 3 days later and says, Spen, your picture's ready. So I go into the studio, get my picture. He goes, hey, Spen, have you ever thought about being in movies? You've got an amazing look. And then all of a sudden, this light bulb goes, boom, on my head. And I go, carry on. Because I've got a friend down in London with a friend. They've got a sports agency that they put the top of the game athletes in the movie industry and into adverts and stuff like that. Could I send your details over to them, your picture? I said, yeah, please do. 2 minutes later, the agency gets in touch with me saying, you're a great catch. You're a great catch. Please sign with us. So I was verbally signed, which I'm glad about. And they sent me for several auditions, but they didn't know. Nobody knew Big Spen, the champion kickboxer, couldn't read. You're sending an actor down to auditions, but he couldn't read. And I knew nothing about the acting game, nothing at all about the acting. I got lucky. I come out of a boxing ring and fell straight in front of the cameras, on my first role. Well, I'll get to that now. So I went through several auditions. they kept on crashing and crashing and crashing. And one of my last auditions for playing Tommy in Snatch. Snatch is a very big British film all around the world. So I went into the audition. They passed me the dialogue. I didn't even know what dialogue was. That's the space I was in. It was a scary space, but I was just rolling with it, you know. And there was a lot of dyslexic kids out there who will relate to me, you know. So I love doing these interviews because it's important, because there might be a little Spen out there, you know, that comes out. Oh, Spen did it, you know what I mean? So you can do it. So anyway, the last audition that was with Sports Workshop in London, I read this audition out like a 5-year-old would read Thomas the Tank Engine. You know, that at first the producers in the room, they were laughing and giggling, thinking I was just, you know, there was a fully grown man here, an actor coming for audition. He's been brilliant. He's doing a really good job at somebody who can't read. And then after a few minutes, they got on it. Okay, this guy really can't read. You know, so I got a bit emotional because all my dreams, all my thoughts, all my feelings crashed there and then. Bang! Spen, what you doing chasing this dream? You can't even read, man. You know what I mean? So I thought, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go back to the films. This is what's going through my head as I'm walking out this room. And one of the producers, fair dues to that producer, I forget who it is now. I wouldn't know. But he kept my dream going in a way, because he said, Spen, we can see you're a bit upset here, and we can see you've got problems. You can't read. I said, yeah, I know. You know, it's not that I'm dyslexic, very dyslexic, and I am trying, you know. So he goes, listen, go and get yourself some sight reading lessons. We will see you again in the future because you have a face for what we want. So anyway, 12 months passes, the auditions stop. I carry on with the fighting. And then we've got a very famous new radio channel here, radio station called Radio 1, right? So Radio 1 was shouting out really loud on their live show that Warner Brothers were looking for a very, very tall actor to play the werewolf in the Prison of Azkaban. Then all of a sudden, this light bulb goes off in my head again. Okay, they're going to try and get me in this way. So there's all these thoughts going through on. So I bring my agency up, and I say, am I still signed with you guys? And they go, yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, we've been very quiet for the past 12 months. But we've been very busy. I'm sure you have. You know, I knew the score. I said, anyway, Warner Brothers are looking for a really, really tall actor to play the werewolf in the Prison of Azkaban that'll only deal with a professional actor. It's not an open audition. Do you think you can get me the audition? Oh, yeah, we'll get back to you 2 minutes later. Bang, we got the audition. Because it was very, very exciting times with Harry Potter then. It was, you know, back in the day, it was 15 years ago, that audition. You know, it's a long time ago. So they got me the audition at Leavesden Studios, which is now the Harry Potter world in Watford. As soon as I turned up there, the next day I was in London on a train going to my audition for Harry Potter. Not for Harry Potter, I wish. That'd be good. For the werewolf. You know, so as soon as I turned up the gates at the Warner Brothers Studios, I just had this amazing, beautiful, warm feeling with invisible arms around me saying, welcome to this world. Although I had three callbacks over 3 weeks to get that audition, you know, because several actors went for that role. So that was my first ever role getting into the industry.
Now, you said that you had, you shared that role with someone else, being the werewolf.
Yes.
So how did that work? I mean, did they have you for certain scenes and the other gentleman for the other scenes?
Well, they put us both in the suit at the same time. It was very uncomfortable in there.
I bet. Hopefully you got the top half, not the bottom half.
Yeah, well, Marnix will do some scenes. I'll do some scenes. Marnix will be running around on another set. I'll be running around on another set there. Yeah, the suit is very the same, but it's all near enough 99% of the wolf is CGI, because you couldn't do anything. You could walk in the suit, but you couldn't breathe or see. So it was back in the day that they're very experimental with the stilts we were wearing at the time. So it was all, you know, it was great. We were there really more for reference for the characters, and the CGI could do the thing, you know. But what you see on screen, we did in the suit as best we could. Yeah. It was great, man. I was working with Daniel, Amani, Rupert, all the kids. We were singing happy birthday to Daniel on his 14th birthday, me and Alan Rickman and a few of the other crew. You know, it was just a moment, and it was just a great moment to be experiencing what was to come. You know, it was just it was awesome to be with the kids, and I've worked with Daniel, you know, several years later on Victor Frankenstein, and to see the kids grow up into brilliant actors, brilliant business people, but beautiful souls as well. And Daniel has not changed one bit since he was the child he was when I first worked with him. He's still a beautiful, grounded person, and it's
Aw.
just awesome.
That is wonderful. So does he come up to about your waist since you're so tall?
Yeah, don't tell him that. If he changed his role, he'd be going for Lord of the Rings. No, no, he's you know, he's not small, Dan. He's average height, you know. So I'm 6'7", 6'8". So Dan comes up to my shoulders. You know what I mean?
It just surprises me that you needed stilts for being a werewolf.
Well, they weren't your average stilt to just make you taller. They were shaped like the hind back feet of a wolf, like a dog. So
Yeah.
you'd walk through the knees. So all the pressure would be on your knee, and you'd walk around on your knees, and then obviously put the shape and the character and the soul to the wolf will come through. You know, I'd love to play that wolf right now because I know all the suits would have changed. They look amazing, but the stilts would have changed. We could have done a lot more on the stilts that we have these days, you know?
Now, did you also play a bit part as Hagrid?
Yeah, well, because I've got a close relationship I was starting to grow a relationship with the Harry Potter world. And Hagrid's stunt double is the guy that was in the suit when Hagrid couldn't be in the suits, the wide stuff and stuff like that. Daniel, I think his name was. I forget the name. But he played for rugby for the England team and stuff like that. He was 6'11", really big guy, and he couldn't come in for a couple of days. So they said, Spen, can you come in? And I said, yeah, I'll help you guys out, no problem. You know what I mean? So I'll come in. But I was actually fighting a professional fight. I was fighting a world champion in like 4 days' time. So I was starting to focus vision to my fight. So the normal Spen they knew wasn't the normal Spen on site, because I was like a bit of a Spen. oh sorry. And I'd literally be like that, you know. And they put me in the suit. There's a scene when Hagrid's friends come over, right? So they're really big giants, like 40, 50 feet high, and they pick Hermione up, right? And then Hagrid goes, now put her down, and there's a rear shot from behind, reverse shot. That's the day I helped out on Harry Potter 5, and I played one of the knights in Deathly Hallows Part 2 as well, and I played Death Eater and Greyback in the Harry Potter Wizards Unite game on the phone.
Wow.
So I'm
Well, you
heavily
sound
involved in the Harry Potter world.
you do Hagrid so well. I mean, because your voice sounds just like Hagrid. You should have also had that role.
I didn't do the voice. I was just there for reference, really. You know what I mean? I could pick it up and say, "Yo, yes, that was my voice." Yeah, no, but it wasn't. You know? No, never take anybody's work off them. No, but yeah,
Well, you did a great job.
Yeah, but they asked me to do carry on with the doubling. But I know if I get stuck on a doubling contract, then I'd probably lose all my other acting roles. You know. Because I would have been on that show for a long time, and so I'd miss out on other work that come in. So I just helped the guys out, and they respected me for that, and said thank you very much for helping them. I said, yeah, anytime, you know, anytime.
That's exciting. Did you get any props or memorabilia from the actual sets of Harry Potter?
No comment.
If you were to borrow something, what might that be?
I'll tell you what. The first day on set, right? You're talking to a kid that never been in front of a camera, knew nothing about acting, nothing at all. Then all of a sudden, he's walking around on the Harry Potter set as the werewolf with all the cast. I picked up like a piece of wood off the floor, going, "I'll pull out my pocket. You see that piece of wood? That's off the Harry Potter set." It was a bit of crap on the floor. But it's just that was back in the day, you know what I mean? Back in the day, I probably got it somewhere in the house still. It was great. It was great.
That's really funny.
That is funny. It doesn't get any bigger than your first film, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I was with some of the biggest actors in the world, some of the best stunt crew, some of the best directors, top of the crop. Started straight in the top of the deep end. You know, and just such great people, such beautiful people, and you know, that was the start of my path. And it's just been a ride ever since, and it's still going. It's great. I'm loving it.
Well, yeah, you trusted your instincts. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's so funny that you were the one that actually made the call telling your agents, hey, can you check in on this?
Yes.
And I mean, I think fantastic. And that just proves that people who just sit around waiting for roles, really why? You can still
Yeah.
be a part, just as much as your agents.
Of course you can. Of course you can. Yeah. Just, just the agency will be saying, don't tell them that. They'll take our job off us. No, but yeah, you've got to get out there. You've got to put the footwork in. You've got to bang on them doors, because it doesn't come to you. It doesn't come to you.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to, I fought all my way from day one, from being born. I've always worked hard. I've tried my best, and I've always thought I was really thick. I didn't know and understand about dyslexia, but I'm very intelligent, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just the way my body, we're all different. It's just the way the brain ticked. They wanted me to do the physicality, not the theory, and then the theory will come later on in line. Down the line. I love it. I love it. I love the feelings and the life that I've had. I loved little Spen when I was a little kid. I loved him, cheeky little chappy, knocking the next door neighbours for a jam butty. Oh, he's go chasing animals, bringing little old people back that wandered off from the old people's home. Can I have her as my friend? You know what I mean? It was just crazy. I was one of them cheeky kids. And then I grew up to be a bigger cheeky kid. And Spen's all right.
And you're still growing.
Right.
You're 6'8" and growing.
Still growing. Special soul.
Now, I'd like to touch on a couple of other films that you've been in that are really, really big films. You've been in so many movies already, over 30. But for Guardians of the Galaxy, what was that experience like?
Brilliant. Like you say, didn't read too good. In like photo comics and things like that, I used to just look at the pictures, didn't read the words. So I didn't know much about Guardians of the Galaxy. So when I got the role as Guardians of the Galaxy, do you remember the Guardians of the Galaxy 1? Do you remember the scene where he goes, that guy goes, take it down to the showers. It'll be easier to clean up the blood down there. That's what I was originally going to get auditioned for, but I didn't even audition for that. They said, no, we're going to give you the mean guard. I'm like, okay, let's roll with it. He did mean guard, and he electrocutes Star-Lord, takes his Walkman off him, and then he comes back and takes it back off you, and you'll do a little bit of a dancing scene as well. I'll get to that now as well. So I remember the first day on set, it was brilliant. I got to meet James Gunn, and I walked on set, and he had like all his furry little friends, his families, his kids. There were like a little raccoon running around his neck, and something else breed of an animal, and another one, and I walked on, and they all just like stopped and all looked at me at the same time, and I was like, oh, that's cool. That is cool. And I wanted to go and shake their hands, but they just the animals looked at me like a weirdo. We haven't got hands, but it's one of them. But yeah, it was brilliant. And one of the I worked on that for like about a week, because it was a short scene, but they were calling me in for different things and stuff like that. And I remember I'd been in makeup, because it's like a 3-hour makeup, that, believe it or not, because they'd shave my head and put the skull cap on and put the appliances on and the makeup and stuff. It doesn't happen in 10 minutes, And I was in my trailer all day, the specific day, and it was like half an hour before they went to overtime. And that's the way it happens sometimes. If they're not getting the shots, you might be hanging around your trailer. It's not a problem. You're there. You're working. So James Gunn comes to the trailer and he goes, hey, Spen, we want you to do a scene for us, but we've got like half an hour to get it before we go to overtime. All we want you to do is you're putting your Walkman on. You've heard the music for the first time. We want you to dance through the prison, because that prison was a real set at the studios. Huge it was. And we want you to be really mean to one of the prisoners and carry on going. I said, yeah, I can do that, no problem. You know what I mean? We'll get that. So the first take, I hear the music, I start dancing through the prison, being really mean to that prisoner, and then carry on past the camera. Dead quiet when they went cut. Everybody laughed their heads off. I went, that's a good sign. Everybody laughs at me when I dance. That's a good sign, even in the pubs. So it was one of them. And they said, Spen, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. I said, but Spen goes, James goes, but can you dance like an alien? I said, hey, listen, you've employed an alien, you've got an alien. So I just took all the beats out of it. You can actually watch that on YouTube. the special features that got cut and put into the Blu-ray. It's hilarious. Have a watch of it.
Are they the
Have a watch
behind
of
the
it.
scenes?
Brilliant. And the deleted scenes.
Oh.
Yeah, the deleted scenes that goes into the Blu-ray, the special feature scenes. Have a little watch of it.
How fun. I can't wait to watch you dance.
Yeah, it's funny. They
Now, are you a good
they
dancer?
said in the commentary, it didn't make it. They said, we made a mistake here. We should have put it in the film. But for several reasons, it didn't make it. I heard I danced better than Chris Pratt. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Don't want to take his glory.
Yeah, and you're probably better looking too, so that's why they gave you all the painted makeup, right? To try to help tone that down.
Yeah.
Oh, with makeup on. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
What an incredible experience. And now moving from that, now let me ask you this. Before we get into some of the other roles, you know, Doctor Who and Game of Thrones, are people calling you now and saying, we want you for this part? Or are you still being your own agent and saying, hey, get me an audition for this film now?
No, well, you know what? You know, only 5% of us actors are working. You know, there's a lot of us out there. Sometimes you might have they come in buses. 3 auditions will come in at the same time. They come in like buses. If it's quiet, and I'll start looking around as well, I might get on to my agent, you know, this is going on, that's going on. Or sometimes you might hear that something going on before your agent, because obviously you're in the circle. You might get a phone call of some of the guys, hey, Ben, you'd be great for this part. So I do my little bit, they do their little bit. I'd like to be busier, but it is what it is. It comes and it goes. So, but I've got a bit of a celebrity status now with my characters, so I get to do Comic Cons all over the world. So I get to meet the fans, and I get to go to the schools and do Q&As for the kids, and the Patriot Anti-Bullying Home in Wales. And there's a lot of bullying going on, and I try and do my little bit, you know, because I got bullied in school, I got bullied in college, you know, not so much in school, but in college. I was at a college, it was a Welsh college, but it was an English-speaking college as well. But because I'm a dyslexia, I struggle speaking English, never mind learning the Welsh language. So I had a hard time there by the Welshies, but, you know, I fought my way out of it. But it's all good. It's all good. Everything that's happened in my life is a piece of my picture, you know? And now it's complete. And now I'm just really enjoying my path even more so now.
So you say you went to college. How did it, you know, a kid that didn't read or write end up going through college? I mean, you've had to, I always say fake it till you make it, because I'm also dyslexic, and that was really difficult for me. So how did you get to college?
Well, again, I don't know. I don't know. It was like they put me on this ride. Yeah, but, you know, didn't come away with any qualifications. But I did. So you got to put yourself in my shoes for a minute, right? Because dyslexia, a lot of people can be dyslexic, but there's different forms of it. My form, I couldn't read, you know, or I put my words back to front and things like that, you know. Sometimes I write a text, and some of the words might be missing, although I've seen it, then I've got to read back again and read it again, make sure I haven't missed anything out, you know. It's just the way my brain ticks. And so I took no input in primary school. I took no input in high school. I failed all my exams. I was a pain in the arse for the teachers, and I'm sorry about that, teachers. I know I was, but I had to get my attention some other way. That was being a clown, you know. Then I went to a Welsh college called Llys Fasi in Ruthin. At first, I did agricultural mechanics. We lived on a small holding, with my mum, but I worked on a dairy farm, which is like 5-minute walk across the fields. So I did agricultural mechanics. I did really, really well at that because it was very physical, you know, not so much theory. You're in there in the oil and pulling on them spanners. I did really well with that. But Mum sort of put the pressure on me saying, listen, you're working on a dairy farm. Why don't you go into dairying? So I ended up living at the college. I did a year there, got distinction in that. You know, I did very well in that for the practical side of it, not so much for the theory side. But then I went to NCD, which is National Certificate in Dairying. But I did, and I don't really talk about it. I don't like to shout the name of the college out because it is what it is, but I will do, and I'll shout it for the first time. I went there. I struggled. I really, really struggled because I sort of had one friend there who was an English-speaking lad, and he was the cool guy called Dan. He was the cool dude on the motorbike. He was a motocrosser. He was just cool. Everybody had him, good-looking lad, really smart haircut. We all wanted to be like Dan. He was great. He was great, and we were living in the hostels, but I was having a hard time because I couldn't speak Welsh. I couldn't speak Welsh, man. But it was an English-speaking course. I'd go to the college. I'd go to do my courses, and the teachers would be speaking Welsh in the class. I said, but it's an English-speaking course, and they turn around and go, well, you live in Wales. You should learn the Welsh. I said, I'm struggling with bloody English. Never mind Welsh. So it went on. I was going down and down, and I was going to the Three Peas Pigeon pub. It's a pub called the Three Pigeons. And every time I go there, I come back and my room would be busted into, and they'd wreck my room. It wasn't a nice time, but proper bullying going on. So this one specific time, I was just hanging in there to do my mum proud. You know, I failed in my school. I just wanted to do my mum proud. So anyway, this specific day, I was only 17. I was only 17. 18. I was working in the pub. I was going to the pub having a drink. 18, right?
Of course.
So it was about a 3-mile walk to the pub. So I got about half a mile into it, but you could still see the college from the little lane. And I just had a feeling I've got to go back. Just go back. I was on a downer. I thought, you know what? Sorry, I'll just go back and watch a bit of telly. You know, I'm probably getting bullied here now. So I see the light on in my room, which is this far away. And I thought, I didn't leave the light on. And I could see shadows behind the curtain. So I thought, right. So I ran like the wind. And I only had one friend there, right, called Dan, in the whole college. One friend. And I got back there. The door was hanging off its hinges. And there was 3 guys in my room smashing it up. My mum's picture smashed it up. You know, all the things that would get to a kid, you know, they smashed it up. They just they hated me. They didn't want me in the college. It was a clique, real clique. But one of the 3 kids that was smashing my room up was my friend, Dan. Oh, emotional. Ripped my heart out there and then, right? So I put the door on the hinges and I fought them. And I did all right. I got stuck into them, you know.
Good for you.
You're not doing this anymore. And the teacher, the warden, the commotion, this is exactly the truth, comes to the door as I picked it up on the hinges, and she goes, what's going on? I said, what's going on? They've wrecked my room, and they've wrecked it several times. What are you going to do about it? And she turned around, and she goes, it's all of being a part of being in college. And I went, this has been so I rang my mum. I said, Mum, do us a favour. And she goes, we know someone, we'll come and get you now. So that was it. Come and got me. We just left it alone. And I went away and done other things. But emotional times. Woo!
Oh my gosh.
Emotional times.
Can we use that as far as
part of the path? It was part of the path. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
If we can take that negative experience, because that's terrible. People have gone through that and it's not right. No,
it's not.
I mean, you've got us crying. It's not right. But we talk about the negative experience from that and how you turned it into a positive because you're so big into anti-bullying. And you told me one specific story about how you helped one young lad. You can use any story you want to because you've helped so many now. But could you talk about that?
Yeah. Okay. So when I went to Rotterdam, Mum got a little bit poorly when I was working in construction. So I come home, my brother and my sister. My sister was living in Holland. My brother was doing his music. He's a musician. My sister was a very famous makeup artist. Everybody's doing really, really well. And they said, Spen, you're going to have to go back. I said, all right, I'll go back. So I got back. Mum wasn't really, really ill. She just wanted a baby back. She got me back. So I just started to the kickboxing. I got into the kickboxing, right? And I thought, right, I'm going to be a champion. And I'm going to get into the films. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I become really, really, really successful at kickboxing, famous in that I was the kid in town that did good, you know? And if it wasn't for the love and support of my town, Rhyl, Prestatyn, Melodyn, all the surrounding towns in North Wales, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now. And I thank them for that, you know, because love is a big thing. You know what I mean? They support my fight. You know, it was really brilliant when I'd fight. Hundreds, all the town would turn out, you know. But when I'd have a fight the next day, everybody'd have a sore throat in town. I've been with the fight last night. Yeah. I think I never lost one. It was always good. So anyway, I'm managing a country club's gym, right? I'm the boss in the gym. And there was a lady that came to me at the time. It was Jordan's mum. She come into the gym. I said, "Hiya, you're right." She goes, "Spen, can you do me a favour?" I said, "Yeah, what?" Because my son Jordan, he's just 14, right? And he's getting really, really, really bullied in school, really badly. I'm really all worried about him. I said, "Listen, bring him in, bring him in." So she brought him in, and this little kid, a little bag of bones, you know, wasn't even 5 foot tall. He was tiny, and he had his chin down, and he couldn't even make eye contact with me. I went up to him, rubbed his head, and said, "You right, George?" He looked up, looked at me. I said, "You're all right, you'll be all right." I said, "Get going, leave him here with me for an hour. Just leave him with me." So I have my little room there as well, where I do the one-to-ones with people, you know, who weren't too confident with people watching. So I had a little private room for them to help them out that way. So I got Jordan in there. I was having a little chat with him for a bit, and I got him out of his chin, where he lifted his chin up, and he was looking at me and talking to me. And I had a big mirror there. I said, "George, look in that mirror there." And he wouldn't even look in the mirror properly. I said, "You don't like what you're looking at, mate, do you? You've got no confidence, have you, buddy?" And he goes, "No, I haven't." So I said, "Right, take your top off." He goes, "What?" I said, just roll with it. I'm not being weird. Just take your top off. And he took his top off. I said, "Look at yourself, George. How do you feel about yourself?" "I don't like it." "Put your top back on, George. I won't ask you to do that again for a long time." So anyway, you're going to be training with me 3 times a week now, Jordan. You don't have to worry about paying. You're going to come with me. You're going to be my boy. I'm going to look after you, right? So anyway, 5, 6 months pass. Jordan Roberts comes through the door. All right, Spen, all right, George, all right, mate, yeah, go put your gloves on. And he's like, coming in, the most confident kid you've ever seen, the most popular kid in school. Everybody loved Jordan, right? And now he's on the circuit. He's going to be fighting for me as a champion. He's not a champion yet, but he's going to be a kickboxer. So with 6 months training with me, he had his first fight, won it. You know, won his next fight, won his next fight, won his next fight. And then I said to him, I said, "The time you're 21, Jordan, you're going to be my Welsh champion, right? You are, Jordan." Oh, on his 21st birthday, we got him the Welsh title fight where he fought a champion, Welsh champion. He was brilliant. So Jordan, on his 21st birthday, fought for the Welsh title, right? And the thing, a lot of boxers out there will relate to this. When you train your body so hard, your body gets run down. It comes next to death, believe it or not. So if you get in a cold, it gets run down. So it's about 2 weeks before his fight. I said, "George, you getting a cold yet?" He goes, "No." A week and a half before you fight. "You feel like getting a cold yet?" "No." A week before you fight. "You getting a cold yet, George?" "No." 3 days before you fight. You got a cold yet, Jordan?" Because he wanted to get a cold to get out of the way, get the Lemsics and the oranges and just keep it out of the way. On the day of the fight, an hour before he goes into the fight, he starts getting hot and sweating. And his temperature's starting to come up. And I'm now, Jordan, man, this is not good. I'm going to pull the fight." "You're not pulling the fight. You're not pulling the fight. You're not pulling the fight. I'm going in it." Look at him. I said, "Right. I tell you, if you start getting ill in that ring, though, if you start, I'm pulling, I'm stopping it. I don't care. We can do this another time. I'm not risking your health, mate." "All right, I'm getting it." And he gets in there and he's fully blown, burning up. And this is what sort of a true champion that kid is, right? He got in that and he fought the hardest rounds of his life, and he took the title and won it. You know,
Wow.
That's
it was amazing.
amazing.
And
That's
later on down the line, he went into the British Army and went in fighting in the British Army boxing team. You know what I mean? You
Wow,
know,
you changed that kid's life.
yeah, you know, and he changed my life at the same time. We're all put on the path. The big man upstairs does his thing. He does his thing. We're all here for a reason. Simples. I'm like that. Call me weird or whatever. That's my thing. We're all here for a reason. If we can help people, we will help them along the path. We don't want anything for it. But that kid in front of you just helped. You've got to help somebody one day as well, mate. It's the way it is. You can't keep it to yourself because it's a gift. Now use it for good.
You know, that's amazing. You know, you just described what would probably be an Academy Award winning film, what you just did for that boy and what he accomplished so far with his life. That
There's
is a
lots of
movie
that.
right there that
Yeah.
everyone would love to see.
Yeah,
Wow.
that'd be beautiful. Yeah, it'd be nice. I have a word. Get a new job. Jordan wants to get in the films. Yeah, no, but I've helped several kids like that. Little Lily. Lily, Lily's dad. Lily's a little girl at the time. She was 14, 15. She come to me. couldn't go to school, crying every day. She's getting bullied on because she's special, she's different. You know what I mean? She was getting bullied on. So I turned it all round for her. She started fighting for me. The first fight she had, she ended up fighting or having a bit of a move around with a world champion. That world champion had to turn on her thing because my girl was beating her. So anyway, and then she ended up playing for Everton professional football team, a girls football team.
Oh my goodness.
It just turned it around. It's just beautiful. They're the kids that are getting bullied. They're the real special ones. You know,
You're exactly right.
I
They're the
think all
fighters.
kids
Yeah.
I think all kids are special, all do, but they all fall into gangs and want to be this and want to be that, and, you know, and sometimes they don't always do good, you know, and they just fall off the path, but they've got to be brought back. You know what I
Well, a
mean?
lot of
Get
them
back
are
on that.
misunderstood.
That's what it is.
Well, and they want to be a part of something. That's the
Yeah.
thing, and they need to
It's
find
beautiful,
their own.
isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
it's beautiful. All kids are beautiful. They've just got to be guided.
You're right.
Yeah, that's
Exactly
true. That's
right.
why we only had one. We can only guide one right now. It's
Yeah.
You get making some more. He's a brother and sister. Yeah.
so. Are you still doing professional boxing? I mean, are you still getting in the ring?
No, I haven't fought for over 8 years. The last fight I had was in Chester Racecourse, and Chester is like 30 minutes from Manchester, right? And Chester Racecourse is a very old racetrack, horse racetrack. I wasn't on a horse at the time. I was inside the building fighting. But it's Roman city. Chester's a Roman city, and there's a wall going right round it. It's amazing. If you get the chance, go on the internet and check out Chester. Yeah, in England. It's beautiful. You know, my dad was a Chester boy. I had a Nana Chester. Her name wasn't Nana Chester, but we used to call her Nana Chester. You know, I used to fight out of Chester when I was professional boxing as well. You know, so we used to run. Me and my really good friend Danny Coyne. He was the Wales goalkeeper for 10 years. You know, very, very talented boy. He's a beautiful soul, and he's the godfather of my kids. And I got him into his boxing while he was goalkeeping as well. And we used to run about a mile or two from the gym, drop down onto the racetrack, run around the racetrack, jump back onto the Roman city walls, run around the city walls. And it's beautiful because, you know, when you're really that fit, you sense things, you feel things of the past. You know, it's like Van Damme, kickboxer, when he's kickboxing and then all of a sudden he starts hurting the gods. What was that? He starts fighting. You know, I'm running around the walls thinking I'm a Roman. Hey! You know what I mean? But, anyway.
Now, a couple other roles to me awe as a fan of these. I know that you were the White Walker, and then you mentioned that Ross Mullen, who was also a friend of ours on the show, White Walker, that he kind of owes his experience to you.
Do you love Ross? Isn't Ross the best?
He is.
I love his soul. He's a beautiful, beautiful human being. Beautiful. I love him to death.
Yeah, he is. We've actually been fortunate to meet him, and he definitely
he's a lot
is.
of fun as well.
Yeah.
Just a genuinely nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was
gorgeous.
the White Walker after you. So how did that happen?
Well, I got the call at the time. It was Connor O'Sullivan that called me up. Would you come in? And I didn't even have to audition for it because I was sort of doing really well in the creature world and stuff like that. So would you come in and play a character called White Walker? Have you read the books? I said, oh no, I've not read the books. So I come in there, and we were filming in Tullamore, North Belfast in Ireland. I was staying on Shankle Road in Fitzwilliam Hotel, and we were filming up in the hills, and it was like in the summertime, but the whole set was made out to be snow, you know, so it was like white paper all over the floor. But it was amazing. You were on the snow, and you could jump to the left. You're in the sun, in the snow, in the sun, in the snow, in the sun. So I was always messing about, you know what I mean? Hey, cold, hot. But anyway,
still a big kid.
So I'll never grow up. I'd love it, you know. But I've got about 10 footballs in my garden. You're not having that ball back. Come on, do one, kid. No, I do chuck him back. But yeah, so I played the White Walker. Yeah, it was me and Ian White. Ian White's the Predator. He was White Walker 1. I was White Walker 2. They were just the cast names. But that's before anybody knew how big the Game of Thrones was going to be. This is the first White Walkers on the first episodes, you know. And then they called me back on the next season to come back and play the White Walker again. But we were working, I think it was Jupiter Ascending with the Wachowskis, for the Wachowskis on Jupiter Ascending. So I was in America, so we couldn't take the job. So Ross had to do my job.
Second choice. But
you know what? Me and Ross are equal, man. We're all doing our equal thing. But you know, Ross got the job. It didn't have my name over it. It was Ross's job. It was his character, and he smashed it. He smashed everything he does. He smashes it. He did brilliant. So yeah, all I can say is when I land a character, I like to move on to the next character anyway, and the next job, to experience and feel all these spirit and souls of the character and become friends with them. So I don't want to be stuck on a show for 10 years playing one character. Well, you know, if it's paid all right, I don't mind. But no. But I like to experience all different productions, all different people, all different everything. I love. You know what I mean?
So speaking of experiences, since you've been here in the U.S. Several times, I'm assuming, what is one of the weirdest foods that we eat that you just think is so weird?
That's a great question. I haven't thought of that.
You know what? I've been asked thousands and thousands of questions on hundreds of Q&As. I've never, ever heard that question before. Ever.
Congratulations.
That's amazing. Congratulations. What is the weirdest food? I don't want to knock your food because we've all got different taste buds, right? You know, we eat little kids here.
It tastes like chicken.
I was joking. But no, what food? It's like, what is it? It's like a, I don't know the name of it now. Because your breakfasts, when you go to the hotels and stuff, it's not an intercontinental breakfast. You've got your sausages, you've got your flat sausages. You don't have normal sausages like ours. Yours is like a burger. You know what I mean?
A patty.
And your egg,
patty.
Yeah, and when your egg, if you drop it, it bounces back onto the plate.
Hard-boiled egg.
Yeah, and you know, your coffees, you know, you have one, you're up for 3 weeks. But no, you know what? I love all foods. You know, I'm not knocking any food. I'll eat anything, me. I'm up for it. You know, I'm a growing boy.
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
It's really funny though. No, I agree. It's just not normal for certain people, you know?
That is a great question. So Comic-Cons, you've traveled literally the world meeting fans. Have you had any unusual experiences from fans coming up to you?
Yeah, I've had a few. But you know what I love about Comic-Con? What I love about Comic-Cons is the passion they put into their making their cosplays. Yeah, the costumes. They'll be working on it for a solid year. You know, they haven't got the fundings they haven't got the fundings what the movies have. They haven't got 40 people working on their costume. You know, they do it all on by themselves, and it's just some of them costumes they could have just walked off the film. They are so impressive. You know, everywhere you could go into a little Comic-Con with 100 people on it. You know, and people walking through the doors, and there'd be some little kid there that's come on, who's dressed as one of your characters, and you go, Kim, high five me, man, high five. Go get a ladder and high five me. But no, it's like, but you know, I love Comic-Cons, love them. But I've made friends and family all over the world from the Comic-Cons as well. And there's a good friend called Jason, right? And his missus. They'll know. They'll be watching this. And I'm not sure where the Comic-Con was now. I think it was it was one of the horror cons. He'll be shouting at the screen now, going, "It was there. It's gone out my head. It'll come back to me. I'm sure it'll come back to me in a minute." So his missus comes up to me, and goes, "Hey, Span. I said, "All right. How you doing?" She goes, "Yeah. Look at my tattoo." She pulls the skirt up, right? She's with her husband. She pulls the skirt up to her top of her thigh, and there's a full Vader head tattooed, right?
Oh my goodness.
And she goes, "Can you sign my leg?" I said, "Yeah, I'll go and sign it." She comes back an hour later, man. She had it tattooed, my signature on her leg. And I went, You're cool. You rock, man. That's amazing. But what happens if we fall out? You know, it's one of them. But her husband and her family, they're just beautiful families. And I'm just so glad I've made so many friends and families all over the world. The Johnson family. I do a lot of charity work for the SWAT team in America. I go back once a year. I mean, I've thrown out the ball for the Mets a couple of times, you know? And then we go back once a year, and I just go back, and I just love it. And the people over in Port St. Lucie, just beautiful, the good souls, you know, the Johnson family, the good souls. So I'm going back again this summer. We're going to go back, me and Jimmy V. Jimmy V's one of my best mates. Jimmy V's 3 foot tall, so we get some looks. And he's the new R2D2 in the Star Wars films. So, yeah, and he's Scottish. I see you, Jim, on the head. You know what I mean? He's brilliant. He's brilliant. You know, I don't want to, butt me in the knee, but I've got to be careful. Yeah, but we're all, I call our body, I call it the transport unit. It's all about the head, heart, and soul. Doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. It's what you got on the inside. You know what I mean?
100% agree. 100%. And speaking of that, we know what the outside looks like. Now we know who the inside of Darth Vader is, because you made a perfect segue into Star Wars with the tattoo, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
What was it like auditioning and then getting to play Darth Vader?
Wow. Right. Well, over the past 5 or 10 years, the secretivity in the film world now is getting so tight. So the Star Wars alone, I felt the real secretivity on Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the first time as an actor I've never been past a whole script on my scene. I was like, well, that's different. You know what I mean? Okay, sound. I won't be have to sat in the house for 3 weeks reading the script. This is great. So I'll take you from the very beginning of the audition, right? How it was, the process of it is. So Morello Cherry Actors Agency, right? Based in Manchester and London. They call me up. Joe calls me up and says, "Spen, we've got a cell tape." Okay, cool. It's something big, man. I said, okay, they're all something big, aren't you, Joe? Okay, right, okay. Right. So I said, what's the production? He goes, we don't know. I said, come on, Joe, you can tell me. Joe, come on, who is it? We don't know. They're not telling us, mate. They're not telling us. We know what casting agent it's come from, but they don't know. They will not tell us what production it is. I said, well, that's weird. Okay, I'll come in. We get it done. He passes the scene, but the name is not Darth Vader. It's smudged out, but he's got great importance. I said, so I read it, and I went, oh, right, okay, cool. So the following week, we get another call back. We get another cell tape. Spen, yeah. I said, right, okay, right. It's a huge production, but they're still being really secretive about it. I said, this is getting weird, man. So I need to know who the character is. Okay, all right, but the maiden phone call, they're still not letting us know. So they send it back. The next self-tape, a third self-tape comes back in. But now we know it's Star Wars. I knew it, Joe. I knew it, and I know who this is. And it goes, well, he's got great importance. We know that. It's some sort of, one of the guys on the ship, one of the bosses. I said, I've got a funny feeling it's Darth Vader. He goes, no, it's not. I said, I'm telling you now, Joe, it's Darth Vader. Wow. I'm telling you. And he goes, why'd you say that? Because at every line we're reading out, he's going, no. But I had a feeling. But on the last, they called us to Pinewood Studios. I filmed in Pinewood Studios. It's like my home. Lots of times. It's a beautiful studio. There's great people there. And they called me in, but it's very, very weird. Because they know me there at the studios. Everybody knows me at the studios. I was the Wolfman. We filmed the Pinewood Studios there. We filmed the Wolfman there, Harry Potter's, everything. We've just filmed everything there. And I got out the driver's car from the back to pick me up at the gate. Shut me, said, "Spen, you're going to have to jump in the car here." So, okay, cool. So jumped in the car. We took us to one of the stages. They put a towel over my head getting out of the car. I went, what? I went, this is just, Spen, just roll with it. I went, okay, cool, Star Wars. Right? So we go up to this tiny little room. It wasn't a casting room. It was a tiny little room that nobody knew about it. We had to, the door, it went, and getting away the cobwebs and everything. Nobody been in there. So anyway, there was a little tent in there, right? There was the camera. So this was the last audition with a tick on it or a cross, right? They pulled back the curtains, and there was the suit. Wow. The boots, the pants, the gloves, the cloak, the helmet. But it's strange, right? Because I knew every presence and spirit of the soul takes over me. But he didn't quite take over me just yet. But in that room, oh, did he? It was like if the slipper fit, right? The boots, they fitted like a glove. When they went to the toilet, I chopped my toes off, chopped my toes off, get the boots in. No, I didn't really. But anyway, everything fitted. It was to be. And I'll never forget it. This is when the presence came to me. And there's a real presence and spirit of Darth Vader. You know, I didn't really get why he was the most iconic bad guy on silver screen until I met him. And he chose me and Dan, two of us played the part. He chose me to become him. So he took over my body, used my body as him, you know, and to become the great Dark Lord. And as I was putting the lid on, the dresser was putting the lid on. He's done this 1,000 times. They're not going to just chuck anybody in there. They're going to go all around the world for this character. He's a special character, right? And I think all my characters are special, but you know, Darth Vader, man, you got to respect him. He's very, very honourable. Anyway. So as I'm putting the lid on, my eyes change, the presence in the room, the atmosphere changes. He's in me. He's there, right? And I was like, oh God, you bad boy. You know what I mean? I was feeling him. I was like, oh my God. I just wanted to choke people out. You know what I mean?
I know three guys in college you can go back and choke out.
Yeah, man. Well, the rest is history. I got the role, you know. And, you know, me and Dan played the part. Dan did the end scene with the lightsaber. I did the acting bits, all the other bits. You know, it was all acted. You know, Dan was that brilliant. Dan was just all acting. We both did a good job, you know. But Dan's a sword master, man. He killed that last scene. It was the most iconic scene in the film. Wow, didn't Dan smash it? It was just wow. I was too tall for the scene. No, Dan had his name over it. That was it. The rest is history, man. I've moved on from Darth Vader, done several other characters since him, but it's a great character to have on your CV. And I get it. I get it. Why he's the most iconic bad boy of all time.
Well, he's relatable, just like I think how, you know, you are. And I mean, I think he started out as kind of a misunderstood kid, you know, no one would give him a chance. And instead of you turning to the dark side, he turned to the dark side.
Yeah, isn't it? Well, it is. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's funny. I think it's beautiful at the same time. It's great. And, you know, I thank the Emperor every day and everybody that believed in me to become the character, you know? Mm-hmm. I thank the Lord every day for his bit. Thank the productions, everything. I just thank it all. It's been a trip. It's been a ride.
What a wonderful, I tell you what, this has been a trip and a ride, getting to talk to you for the past hour. What a beautiful.
The highs and lows. I mean, yes. You've made me laugh and cry, literally.
You're the perfect film because you've made us laugh and cry, and you're such a beautiful soul. And just, it's amazing that anybody who meets Big Spin is going to just fall in love with you as their best friend instantly, because I know we have.
It goes both ways, mate. It goes ways. Me and you, as the three of us got a relationship now, right? Okay.
Oh yeah, we'll call each other every single week.
That's right.
You don't have to do that. I'll put you on the stalkers list. No.
You're just gonna click me to voicemail.
I'm really joking. Yeah, that was great.
Thank you so much for taking your time to share your passion and your stories and your experience, and most importantly, your love with all of us that are listening.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to give the message to all the kids out there. Kids, you know, you might have a dream out there. You might want to be the best bin man. You might want to be the best carpenter. You might want to be the best swimmer, right? You've got to put the work in. If you want to come into this world especially, right, you've got to be thick-skinned, right? You've got to be able to handle rejection, right? But all I'm going to say to you, when you have an audition, when you knock on that door and you get refused, take it as a positive, because the casting agents have great memories. They might not want you for that job, but they want you for the next one, right? And if you want to chase this dream, you've got to get yourself a normal job as well. You can't live off the parents, right? You've got to experience life, right? And you've got to be good and be good to others. And if you're in the room, let's say you do a job and there's a bit of negativity going on in that room, the green room, move away from that bad energy. Move away from it. Stay positive. Be lovable to everybody. Do 100%. Give 100% with your character. Do the best as you can, right? And the rest will flow. Be beautiful to each other and eat your sprouts and your greens or you'll never grow up to be Big Spen. And be careful crossing the road. All right?
Wonderful words of wisdom from
Yes.
Big Spen.
Beautiful. Perfect.
Thank you so much, Spencer Wildling. It's been such a pleasure and such an honor to get to talk to
And
you.
remember, don't underestimate the power of the dark side.
That's the best.
That's perfect.
That is perfect way to end it. Thank you, Big Spen. Have
All right,
a wonderful day.
See you later.
All right, Spencer's got to be one of the nicest, most entertaining guys. What a combo.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We had talked for about an hour.
That's incredible. And he held the phone that entire time.
Oh gosh, yes. This man definitely knows he works out.
It's so neat though to see how he overcame that success or the anti-success of being bullied and dyslexia and becoming a success. You know, much the same way you did with this podcast.
He just never gave up.
No.
So that right there it speaks loudly.
I think everybody should be proud that this guy is out there.
Yes.
Because
we need more.
We do so much more like Spencer. You made a great point a moment ago off camera. You said that, you know, when someone's bullied and had some trauma like that in a way in their lives, they have two ways they can go. They can go really negative or really positive. And boy, did he go positive.
Oh, yeah. He took it in stride.
And I cannot wait to try to meet him in person.
I hope we do. I really hope we do in the future get to meet him.
Yes.
One-on-one.
If he's ever at any Comic-Con, I know he's coming up to one in Kansas City, but if he's ever at a Comic-Con near you, I cannot recommend enough getting a chance just to meet such a quality human being, much less talented actor.
Yes.
So thank you for listening. I hope you guys, again, enjoyed it. You can still follow us on YouTube and anywhere a podcast is downloaded, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play. We are there, and we hope that you will be back with us next week for an all-new episode of My Big Break Almost.